Good. All right, good first day. A lot of energy, like everybody in the country will say on first day. A lot of urgency in our program going into year 4. You know, with the way we've recruited consistently over a period of time, the roster we built. You know, I think there's a extreme urgency starting with me all the way through the rest of our program. And you can see that today, but it's day 1 of 15. We've talked all spring long about finding a few little things that everybody can do to work and get better at, because it's really hard to get a whole lot better at something. You know, it's hard to get way better than other people that are in your field or in your domain, but you can take about 5 or 6 things and get a little bit better at those 5 or 6 things, and all of a sudden you are a lot better. So that's kind of what we're focusing on with day 1, implementing new schemes on both sides of the ball. Obviously, really good schemes that we believe in. That's why we went that direction. And all in all, good day. I thought our defense communicated really well. That's been a point of emphasis with Coach Big Nail coming in on the back end is communication. I thought we probably did that. You know, thought you could hear and see a big upgrade right there. And then got a lot of good punt work. Got some good competition at punter. And, you know, from there, man, we'll go open it up.
Time of discovery offensively. Not a whole lot of guys back. New coordinator, possibly a new quarterback down the road.
Yeah.
Kind of speak to that.
Yeah, just exciting. You know, it's exciting to have Chip here. He's got such a great track record. He knows exactly what he's looking for and what he wants. We'll be more versatile in our sets. There'll be a lot more motion, a lot more movement, a lot more shifts, less just lining up, you know, and got a lot of competition at all the positions. Quarterback, probably more excited about our O-line than any time or probably any position with how we've recruited there and developed, because it's a developmental position. Now all those guys, Glenn, you know, we've signed a lot of really highly recruited guys and they've been developed and it's time to play. We've added a little bit there. And then our tight end room obviously has got a lot more talent there and a lot more competition. So all in all, just excited about day 1 with it and seeing where we're going to go with it and moving on from there.
Is tempo RPO a big thing with Coach Long?
Yeah, I mean, we install everything from a tempo standpoint. You know, how fast we go will be dictated by what we need to do to win a game, but we have the ability to do that, yeah.
Kind of like a similar question with your new DC. I mean, can you just kind of talk about how his hiring came to be and what it is that you like about it?
Yeah, well, I knew what I was looking for from a schematic standpoint. I wanted to go back to what I had done when I'd been a head coach before, that particular scheme. That had worked so well, you know, in the 6 years I've been a head coach previous to here. I wanted to get back to that scheme. I believe in it. I know how to coach it better. I know how everything fits together better. So I knew schematically what I was looking for. You know, went down into the FCS and Division II levels and looked at about 10 or 12 guys that were really doing well. Wanted guys that had called it before. And Clay's name just kept coming available. I never knew Clay or really had never even heard of him, but just kept researching him. Then we interviewed all day long one day, man, just me and him, nothing but ball. And then we hung out that night, got to know his values a little better, and then ended up going through the interview process, interviewed several people, then came back and interviewed him a second time just to validate, you know, because it was such a big decision. And it's been a great marriage, you know, so far with what I want to do, what I believe, how I believe you should play defense, what he believes, the values he has, and we're excited about, you know, day 1 of him putting it in and where we can take this thing moving forward. You'll see a lot more zone, you'll see a lot more eyes on the quarterback, a lot more hands on balls, a lot more leveraging, and those type things. You know.
I know you mentioned the excitement that, you know, day 1 with having Chip here, but just tell me a little bit about building that relationship back up with just the whole coordinators and everybody, you know what I mean? Just getting back on the field, stuff like
Specific with Chip or with Clay?
Chip.
Yeah, so Chip and I, you know, we played together, but we haven't coached together. So, I mean, I guess it's been 21 years since we were in the same arena together. But we've always kept up with each other. You know, it's a deal where from a systematic standpoint, he comes from the Petrino Jeff Brom tree, which is what I consider myself coming from, too, throughout the years. We followed each other before. I followed him at Memphis when he left with Coach Norvell, and then he followed me at Tulane when I left there with Coach Fritz. So there's a lot of similarities with how we look at football and want to address football. But it will be different. We'll be different, and we need to be different. I recognize and understand that, and excited about having him. Excited about me getting out of the offense altogether and being in charge of the whole program in its totality, which is what you got to do now. And And I just think that's the way football's gone. You know, I think in the last 50 years, the research I did this season going into making this decision, in the last 50 years of college football, I think there's only been 2 offensive play callers win a national title that were the head coach, Steve Spurrier in '96 and Jimbo Fisher at Florida State. And they both had Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks that year too. So it's a move that needed to be made, and for the overall of our program, we're excited to have Chip here.
Was that kind of weird for you today to kind of?
No. I bet you know me, Deem. Everything I do is calculated and thought out and prayed about in advance. I don't do many things just off the cuff. It's something that I've been moving towards for some time and knew that needed to be done for the overall health and well-being of the program and what we needed to do. So.
Well, just to clarify with the quarterbacks, you don't have a named starter at this point.
Heck no, not even close.
Could you speak on just getting Tate Rodemaker from the transfer portal and what he brings for you guys?
Yeah, excited about Tate. You know, he's a guy that played 23 games. He's played against some elite competition and won. You know, Louisville, Florida. I mean, those are some really good football teams that he started and played against and won games. And, you know, so you got him. You know, as a transfer that's played a lot of football. He's an older kid. This will be his 5th year. You got Billy Wiles, who's in his 4th year, who's played some football for us last year. You got Ethan Crawford, who played a little bit of football, who'll be a true sophomore. And then you got John White, early enrolling right there. So you got 4 guys really competing for that spot. And, you know, and it's a lot of competition. We've gone from 4 years ago having 1 scholarship quarterback to having a lot that a lot of people wanted. And we got to continue to grow them and develop them and put a good product out. But look, we got to play better around the quarterback. You know what I mean? Like we want to be a quarterback-centric program that plays well around him and does things to set him up for success and makes the game a little bit easier for him. And that's been a point of emphasis, you know, with Chip coming in and our whole offensive staff together.
I know it was only the first day you're in shorts, but anybody catch your eye today?
Man, Glenn, I'd hate to start singling out people right now. You know, you can convince yourself of anything when you don't have pads on. We've recruited well. We got some kids can run fast and jump high. They're doing things right off the field. You know, the foundation of our program's in place. I was proud of how we practiced today. I was proud of how we competed. I think there's a sense of urgency in every room that if you don't want to come compete, there is somebody that will beat you out. And like I said, I guess I'm overall excited about where we got a chance to go with our O-line, with the depth and competition there, and just the want to and grit there. I think it's stronger and greater than what we've done.
Is it speak to moving Kyron inside?
Yeah, so he's played tackle early on in his career. We've always felt like he had a chance to reach his maximum potential at guard. We just couldn't do it because we hadn't recruited well enough yet to do it. Now we have. We've got the other pieces to where we can move him to where he needs to be, and that's Kyron Barnes. He's talking about moving to guard. He's got a chance to be really good.
Is it refreshing to finally do football today and not have to deal with NIL stuff, at least for a couple hours?
Well, the day's not over. I'll do NIL before the day's over. Yeah. So, you know, they used to say if you're not recruiting's like shaving. If you skip a day, you look like a bum, and it's kind of the way NIL is nowadays too. If you skip a day, you can end up looking like a bum because it's all tied together with the health and well-being of our program. And with that being said, you know, man, we've got all our Southern Miss people. We just got to keep banding together and keep embracing this because this could be our edge. You're seeing all over the country, group of 5 coaches and administrators running away from this. At Southern Miss, we're attacking it and embracing it, and we just keep growing our fan base to where everybody that's a Southern Miss fan does something, just something. Whether that's $20 a month, $30 a month, $40 a month, $50 a month. Everybody doing something, man. We can do this better than anybody else is doing.
Yeah, just to kind of bounce off of that, like, you know, what would be your maybe end goal, you know, to get the NIL where you want it to be?
My goal is to get 1,000 people in our collective in one calendar year. I bust my butt every day to do it. I think we can do it. I think our people want to do it. And then over a 2-year period, I like to grow that to 3,000 to 4,000 people. And I think we can do that. Shoot, there's 2,000 people on Hardy Street every day at 5 o'clock. There's 5,000 people to Pete on the weekend. There's 18,000 in this stadium when we haven't even been winning like we want to. So it's just a matter of everybody embracing it and changing the narrative and signing up and doing something, whatever that is you can do.
How are you guys just injury-wise, health-wise going into the spring? I have some guys.
We're good. Yeah, we're good except for the guys that had the season-ending injuries still recovering, you know. But, yeah, everybody else is pretty good, yeah.
I want to follow up real quick. Just when you look at the Sun Belt, you know, in the NIL, just how huge would getting those goals be for you guys? Just, you know, when you look at the conference and everything like that.
Huge. You know, everybody's looking for an edge. Everybody's looking for a way to set themselves apart. we like to say, and our fans like to feel, and I like to feel, that we have the best fan base in the country. Well, there's a way to validate that now. You know, how many do you? The best fan base in the country ought to have the most people in their collective in the country. They ought to be given the most. So there's kind of a measuring stick now to prove that. So I feel like we have the best fan base. Now we've got a way to prove we do, you know, by embracing this and going with it.
Any other questions for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys, man.